Hello. Welcome. Linda McCartney, Tiffany. Welcome to my live. It's very lovely. I've just started, so I'm just going to take some time for everyone to join us. Oh, Vicky, it's so lovely to see you. Alicia, I hope you're doing all right today. I hope you're having a better day today. Nice to see you. Oh, gosh, Nadine. Oh, Nadine, hello. It's been such a long time. It feels like forever that I've been away. It's really nice to see everyone. Let's have a look. I'm trying to look without my glasses because I know, because my kitchen window, I'm in my kitchen, and the shine is on my eyes. So, oh gosh, let's have a look. Alicia, you remember me? Of course I remember you. Yeah, of course I remember you. Yeah. Oh God, I've got to put my glasses on. I can't see. Let's see. Oh, Coach Alina Popeye. Excellent. Hello. I hope I said your name right. Nadine, I had such a lovely holiday. Thank you. I'm back now. Back at work. Back doing everything. But I had such a lovely time. It was really, really nice. So, oh gosh. Welcome everyone. Welcome. It's been a few weeks now because I went away on holiday and I did no social media at all. I said, right, I'm not going to have my phone with me. I'm going to put it in the hotel safe and I'm just going to live life. And I went out the first night. We went out for a walk after dinner and there was the most amazing sunset. And of course, I didn't have my phone with me, so I couldn't take any photographs. And I thought I'd be fine because it'll be like this every night. No, the whole fortnight, never again. So that taught me a lesson. Anyway, let's have a look. Oh, Chloe, morning, nice to see you. Ness, HB1, nice to see you. Indy Robinson, morning. Oh, Alicia, you went to Greece too. So cool, isn't it? It's such a nice place. I've been teaching myself Greek, so I've been learning a little bit of Greek. So I can say, kalimera, which means good morning, kalispera, which means good afternoon or good evening, kalinikta, good night, efkaristo, which means thank you. What else? Parakalo, which means please or you're welcome. I love learning new languages. Do you like that? How many languages do you speak? If you're here, let me know. What languages do you speak? Indy Robinson, 5:30, morning. I did, Chloe, I had a lovely holiday. Thank you ever so much. I really did. Oh gosh. Let's have a look. Oh gosh, Ellie, so you've helped me to go back and see my therapist regularly again, so thank you for that. Do you know, well done. Do you know, I'm so glad. That's such a brilliant thing. It really helps, doesn't it, to be able to go and talk to someone one-to-one, to be able to chat, to have someone who's not emotionally invested in your life, so you can say what you like and hopefully they'll listen, they can help you, guide you, and you can just work through everything to get to a better place. So I'm so glad. Well done. It takes courage to go back, doesn't it? And I'm really glad that you could. Let's have a look. Yeah, Deborah Ann, hello, nice to see you. Yeah, I had a lovely holiday. It was so good. No sound? Can you not hear me? Can you hear me? If you can, why would there not be sound? I think there should be sound. If you can't hear me, let me know, but it should be okay. Tracy Williams 401, lovely to see you. I hope you're doing all right. It's nice to see you again. Let's have a look. Elizabeth, I love just seeing everyone saying hello. So Tony Burgess Art, I hope you're all right. I hope your sound, you can sort that out. I don't think it's my side. I think it might be something to do with you. Oh, HMash95, hello. Nice to see you. I've been seeing you commenting this week. Thank you for that. Just scrolling through. Oh, you speak Bengali, Shamsad B 2020. So that I've not even tried to learn. Bengali or anything like that. Maybe I should do that. I just think it's so interesting. I'm pretty okay at French, and I can do a bit of German, a bit of Italian. I'm learning Spanish. I learned a little bit of Greek. I started to learn Chinese at some point. I was rubbish. I thought I'd be really great, and I went up to the Chinese, and no, useless. I have to keep practicing. Sarah Gent 1983. Hello, welcome. Well, you've not come across me before, so you were very welcome here. It's really nice to see you. For those of you who've perhaps not come across me before and you've just wandered across me on a Friday morning, I'm a therapist. I'm a Quest cognitive hypnotherapist, so talking therapy. I work mainly with people who are suffering from anxiety, and I just do these lives, just a really nice, safe space conversation about anxiety. If you want to ask me any questions, I'll try my best to answer them, but there's usually quite a lot of people on the live, so I can't answer everything. So please don't think I'm ignoring you if you write your question and I don't see it, because the comments come up and they fly by, and it's really hard. But if you ever want to ask me a question, in my bio there's lots of links, and you can just email me via my bio, via my website, and I'm really happy to answer questions as best I can. So welcome to all of you who are here. Sadia Molan says, can I speak Urdu? No, I can't speak Urdu, I'm afraid. One of these days, you never know. So let's have a look. Oh gosh, Welder Graham, you said I learnt some signing. I learned, when I was at school, we weren't allowed to talk in assembly. And so I learnt the alphabet in sign language. Me and my friends, we learnt the alphabet in sign language because we thought, this is great, we can talk without talking. But we were so slow. So like I can go A, B, C, D, I might be wrong, D, E, F, G, H, I. Oh, you don't want to see that. I'm showing off. Anyway, and it's not very good because I can't communicate other than very, very slowly. So let me answer some questions. Let me stop rambling on about me. Okay. Is there... Betty Cook, is there anything that relieves anxiety? Relieves anxiety, maybe? I'm 30 and been struggling since I was 10. Oh my goodness, 20 years of struggling with anxiety. I'm really sorry to hear that. And I would say yes, there's lots of things that can relieve anxiety. If you're new to my page, then maybe in a moment when you're you've got time, have a little scroll through on my page. At the bottom of my profile, there's categories that I've started to do, various different types of anxiety, information about anxiety, breath techniques, techniques to help you cope in the moment, info so you know what the anxiety is about. So do have a little look through there, because there's definitely things that you can do to relieve anxiety, to understand what it's about, because anxiety is completely normal and natural. We all go through it, and it is the difficulty comes, like I hardly slept last night. I was anxious about stuff in my life, but I woke up this morning, I did get to sleep, and I knew that in the morning it would feel better. And that's a sort of normal anxiety. It was a problem, an issue, I felt anxious about it, I've processed it overnight, and this morning I feel much better. But when anxiety is just chronic and it's there for a really long time and it can totally take over your life, well, that's when therapy comes in. That's where understanding what it's about can come in. And often it's about your nervous system understanding that you are not safe, that there's something in your environment that is not safe. And that might be completely true. So perhaps it's your environment that's causing the issue. I was working with a client yesterday, and their environment was absolutely the thing. And they weren't making it up. It was a toxic environment that they were in. And so if you can remove yourself from the environment, then that's great. Obviously, we can't always do that. Another reason why anxiety happens is that we perhaps have had an event in our lives, earlier in our lives, where we survived it, but to survive it, our brain has triggered fight or flight response. So we get a huge release of adrenaline and cortisol. We feel all the physical symptoms of anxiety. We either remove ourselves from the situation, we escape, we fight our way out, maybe we go into a state of freeze and collapse. But whatever we do, we survive it. But our brain takes a snapshot in that moment and it remembers stuff at an unconscious level, so that it's always keeping an eye out for similar situations as we live our lives. And so we can be triggered into that fight or flight response just by everyday stuff. And so it can feel like it's a constant battle with anxiety. We don't have to live like that. We really don't. If we can, with therapy, I work with people and we go back to, where has this come from? What is the trigger point? Can we reframe that? Because we're no longer in that moment of danger, are we? You know, if something happened around when you were 10 and you're 30 now, you're not in the same environment. You have more skills, more resources as an adult. So absolutely, things can relieve anxiety, can change anxiety, and you can live your life well. So in my bio, there's lots of links. There's links to a therapist finder. If cognitive hypnotherapy is not your thing, then have a look at maybe the counselling directory. There's all sorts of therapists. Go to your GP and talk to your GP and say, you know, there's a whole range of resources from medication to talking therapies to all sorts of stuff. So yeah, there is definitely hope. So good luck to you. I hope that helps a little bit. So Amy _1, you say, I get so nervous about nothing and I literally feel like I could be sick. I'm so sorry to hear that happens to you, and that sickness is a symptom of anxiety. When we get that flood of adrenaline, it affects our digestive system. You might get dry mouth. If you were a soldier in a trench, you wouldn't be wanting to sit down and have a picnic, would you? Everything stops. It's all about survival. And so that feeling of sickness is completely natural. And if you can work on, as I say, like look at my page, look at some of the videos, you can work on that understanding of what's going on, helping your nervous system understand physically that you are in fact safe. That can help you with that nausea. So I hope that helps a little bit. S_Sonia says, how do I get rid of my thoughts constantly going round and round in my head? So that's such a good question, because when we're anxious, we do a lot of overthinking, don't we? We do a lot of, what if this happens? What if that happens? Oh, if only I'd done this, if only I'd done that. And what's going on there is our nervous system, again, trying to help us, trying to imagine what's going to happen in the future so we can be prepared. And that's a really good thing. However, it can be just exhausting. And so what's happening there is we're either in the past or we're way off in the future. And neither of those places really exist, do they, when you think about it? The only reality is here and now, this moment. And so if we can learn, if we can gradually teach ourselves to be as much as possible in this moment. It's not always possible. I was trying to do it last night. I was lying in bed and I was worrying about stuff, and I was thinking, right, just bring myself to this moment. Just, okay, calm, breath, doing tapping, all sorts of stuff. And eventually it helped me. I've managed to fall asleep. But sometimes, it's a natural feeling. When it's constant, it's overwhelming. It's a life skill to be able to just bring yourself back to now. If you look on my bio, there's a pinned post, and I do this technique where you do circling. Have a look at that, have a go at that, because that can be really helpful. I hope it's helpful to you to bring yourself to the moment. Leslie Roberts, 1810. Could my anxiety be caused by an adverse reaction to adrenaline? Well, it is all about adrenaline. I don't know about an adverse reaction, but the anxiety is all about adrenaline. It's about the nervous system understanding that you are not safe. So if you think about, if you forget about us all being lovely human beings, if you think about us being being nervous systems on legs. So we're all wandering around and we're nervous systems on legs. And our nervous systems work really hard. Their whole function, well, not their whole function, but a big function is to keep us safe, to help us survive. And all of us are excellent at that. We come from a whole line. All of our ancestors have survived every situation that's ever happened to them. And so we're the latest in that line. And when we perceive that we're in danger, we get a release of adrenaline, and that's what we're reacting to. So absolutely, yeah. It's probably not, I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, but it's more about the adrenaline gives you those symptoms, and that's completely normal and natural. So I hope that helps a little bit. Louise, 14. Oh, bless you. Thank you, telling me I'm a beautiful soul. I try. I don't know if my husband would say I'm a beautiful soul, because I can be a right old miserable so-and-so sometimes. But thank you. I really appreciate your kindness. Thank you. I try my best. Right, let me know. I can see it's 99 plus new messages, so I'm trying to keep working through steadily, but they might all just leap through. So apologies if I'm missing your question. So I'm going to try. Oh, damn, it's all gone through really rapidly. So I've got so many messages. Again, let me reiterate to you that if you have a question, a burning question about anxiety, you're very welcome to email me. I would do my best. Okay, Broken Trust says my answers are too long. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I just try and, it's just me. If I'm not your cup of tea, then my apologies. Kirsty Crow 1, what's my thoughts on CBT? I've just started my first session this week and feeling nervous. Well, CBT, there's so many different therapies, and every therapy works for someone. Not every therapy works for everyone, and it's just a really personal thing. It's completely normal to be nervous about a new thing. It's natural. Hopefully your therapist will help you to feel comfortable, and over time you'll settle into it. CBT can be really helpful. It's just about whether it suits you. If it doesn't, talk to your therapist and say, I'm not sure this is for me. Have you got any other suggestions? So I hope that helps a little bit. Let's have a look. Are chills, so Isabel May, are chills and shakes an anxiety symptom? I'm always anxious and a hypochondriac, so worried. Oh, bless you. That's so hard, isn't it? So chills and shakes, the shaking, often people get muscle twitches and they shake, and you can be like this, and definitely can be a symptom of anxiety. Adrenaline is what causes that, so you get that rush of adrenaline, so definitely. And I'm not sure about the chills. I think if you're ever uncertain about anything, go to your doctor and get it checked out by your doctor. So you know, I think that's always a good thing, but definitely those things can be symptoms of anxiety. Rhiannon said good on me. I don't know what that was for, but thank you. I don't know what that is. So Antonia says, oh, it's okay, Isabel. How is best to push yourself with something you feel crippling anxiety with, like driving? So Antonia, I would say be kind to yourself. You know, don't push yourself and don't berate yourself that you can't do it. Be kind to yourself, because when you're getting angry, you're in that sympathetic state. You're in that state of protection, of fight or flight, getting frustrated. It's much better, I would say, to sorry, I just see a message from my son came up, which had distracted me. So, oh God, what was I saying? It's totally thrown my brain. Sometimes my sons come in on my lives and they do messages which they think are being funny or they're being helpful, and I'm like, oh my God, it's totally thrown me if I notice it. So what was I saying about driving test? Okay, driving lessons and stuff. Be kind to yourself, because it's about calming, slowing everything so that your nervous system is like in a state of, oh, it's okay, I'm safe, all is well, and my brain can come online again. So that's, I would say, small steps. If you're in your comfort zone, do little steps into your amber zone, from your green zone into your amber zone, rather than going whoa into your red zone and pushing yourself and berating yourself. I hope that helps a little bit. So Creative 123 Farmer says, I always feel faint. Is this linked to anxiety? It absolutely can be, and that can be the freeze or the collapse response, because our heart rate changes and our blood pressure can change. So you definitely can. I know I years ago had a panic attack, and one of the things where I just felt, I really had to sit down, because my breathing had changed, my blood pressure had changed. So definitely it can be, but always get it checked out by your doctor. I just want to give a shout out to, I don't know, I've not seen if my moderators are here today. There's lots and lots of people commenting, and normally I do have moderators. I've not seen them today, so hopefully they're there to keep a really safe space here, and I'm so grateful when they're here. But obviously people have lives, so they're not always here. I've not seen you today. If I've not said hello to you, it's because I've not seen you, because there's lots of people. I think it's the most I've had watching. So okay, let's have a look. Positive Flow Wickle. I feel nervous about driving, though I passed my driving test a long time ago. I don't know what to do. Oh my goodness. So well done passing your driving test. That's a major thing, isn't it? And I would say just take it slow. Have a look on my page, have a look at the coping strategies, the breathing stuff. Maybe have another lesson with a driving instructor that you trust, and just take it slow. Maybe go out with someone that just to reassure yourself. Drive in places where you feel comfortable. Use some of the techniques that I teach on my page to help you begin to be, so you're in a calmer state to start with. Because if you're up here with your stress hormones and it's all, I'm in fight or flight, it's all really difficult, then you get in a car, then you're going to feel nervous. Whereas if you can work day by day, even when you're not going to be driving, to be in a state where your stress hormones are down here, then that can make you feel so much calmer. So you get in a car and you're already in a state of calmness. So if you feel nervous, at least you're going, a bit nervous, rather than starting up here and going, nervous. Excuse the theatrics. So I hope that helps a little bit. But, well done passing your test, because that's not an easy thing to do, is it? Especially when you feel anxious. So well done. I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you for everyone. I can see people are sharing this live to other people. I'm so grateful. It's really lovely, and thank you for being here. Thank you for, if you're following me, that's wonderful. Thank you for your kind comments. I really want this to be a safe space, a place of kindness for people. So I've not seen any mean stuff. Sometimes it happens, and if that does happen, then I apologize for that. But, it's about building each other up and supporting one another, because we're all unique, we're individuals. And, I've just seen something here from Sadamazo. Have you heard of limerence and the constant anxiety over a limerent object? No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I don't know about that. Can't help. I'll look it up, though. Do you have any self-soothing tips? That's Rhiannon Clark 828. Yeah, lots. If you have a look on my page, if you look in the categories, there's lots of self-soothing and calming techniques, which are easy to learn. Also, if you look on my bio, there's a link to my website, and you can request downloads. For all of my clients, I write something called word weaves, where they're partly relaxation, they're partly hypnotic suggestion. And on my website, I've done 3, which are just examples. They're not, when I have clients, I do them specifically, so they're tailored for that person. These are just examples which I can send to you. Do feel free to request them. I do send them out individually. I haven't got a machine, I haven't got software doing it. It's me on my laptop sending them out. So it might take a little while, like a few hours, a few days, but I will send them to you, I promise, if you request them. Let's have a look. So yeah, oh gosh. Oh, so T for Taylor, best tips for agoraphobia. So really good question. And agoraphobia is, for those of you who don't perhaps know, it actually means fear of the marketplace. And how it manifests is that people become very withdrawn and afraid of going out anywhere. So life just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And so it can start as a fear or an anxiety about something, and then it grows and grows and grows. And I would say again, to follow, go and see your GP, perhaps see if you can find a therapist who can be helpful and find out where this has come from. But understanding what anxiety is, using the self-soothing tips, using the breathing techniques, all of those can create an environment of safety. So you can start to feel much safer and just take small steps. So if your bedroom is your safe area or your house is your safe area, then gradually just expand that. So even if it just means, okay, I'm just going to open my front door and sit by my front door for a bit, and then I'm going to shut that, and I'm going to go, okay, well done, I've done really well there. Or I'm going to step out, I'm going to walk to the first lamppost, and then I'm going to come back, and that's enough, that's okay. What you're doing is you're giving your brain evidence that you are in fact safe. So it's small steps, and having a look at the tips that I share on my page. Also, if this is, obviously this is an hour, and it's probably a long time to be sitting watching me and listening, but all of these I put on my YouTube page, and that's linked to on my bio. So if you want to watch this in your own time, just taking your time, dipping in and out, do come back, not submit, don't you have to submit to anything, subscribe to my YouTube page, and then you can watch it in your own time, or fast forward through it if you want. So I hope that helps. Hannah, that's my pleasure. So Potato Jasmine, I love your name. I had a really horrible and bad experience with a therapist. Minimizing. Any tips on how to overcome that? Oh, I'm really sorry that you had that experience. It's so horrible, isn't it? You wait a long time to find a therapist and to see a therapist, and then if you have a difficult or awful experience with them, it can put you off talking to anyone, and that's just so awful. Unfortunately, there are some people out there, A, who are not very good at their job, B, maybe they're not particularly nice people. You get people like that in all walks of life. And maybe sometimes it's just people that you don't click with. But if you've had a really bad experience with a therapist, please don't despair, because there are really good people out there in all models of therapy. There are people out there who are kind, who are good at their jobs. So I would say to reach out again, find a model of therapy that you feel comfortable with. And chat to lots of people, lots of therapists, and go with the person that you click with. I've found over the years that the best therapy happens when you really click, you have a really good therapeutic relationship between the therapist and the client. You need to be able to trust one another. It's a two-way street, So please don't despair. Do talk to other people. There's a link in my bio again, the Therapist Finder, QCHP Therapist Finder. There may be someone on there if you fancy working with a cognitive hypnotherapist. But if you want to work with another therapy, obviously, there's counselling directory, all sorts of directories. So Je suis Pomme 26. I have anxiety passing the driving test. I have anxiety just thinking about taking it. Any tips? So yeah, again, it can help to see a hypnotherapist can be really helpful. Hypnotherapy can be really helpful with that sort of thing, whether that's traditional hypnotherapy or cognitive hypnotherapy. Also, as I've said before, creating an environment of safety around you, doing things nice and slowly, looking at the breathing techniques I share, the calming techniques, that can all help, and working out what is it that makes you feel anxious, and a therapist can help you with that. So I would say have a little scroll around some of my videos, and perhaps that can be helpful. Maybe I'll do a video about driving tests, and keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that would be helpful for you. So I am mindful that I talk a lot. It's, my son who messaged me will back me up on that. I know I talk a lot, but I try and be helpful in what I'm saying. So I get panic attacks being on the train. How can I overcome this? And Tifa Taylor says thank you. So my pleasure. I hope it helps. So panic attacks on the train. So I would say, so panic attacks are the heightened state of anxiety, and they can feel horrible. Sometimes they can come from nowhere. You can not really know why you're having a panic attack, and it means that you've gone from being perhaps in you just get that huge release of adrenaline. So what can you do about it? I would say, first of all, work on lowering the general state of where you are. If you're being triggered specifically by being on a train or something like that, it can be really helpful to see a therapist to find out where has this come from, because usually it will be an event. It might not be a train event. It might be about control. It might be about being in a confined space. So that's why seeing a therapist can be really helpful, because we can drill down into what is the trigger point, what is this thing that's caused this to happen. But generally, I would say it's about creating an environment of safety, having techniques that work for you. So this one that's pinned on my page, maybe something like spinning, which is on the coping technique category. Also tapping. I did a whole series of videos which are on my YouTube page about tapping, which can be very helpful and can be quite discreet. So if you're on a train, it can bring your levels down. So I hope that helps a little bit. Don't despair. Don't despair, because you absolutely can work your way through this and get to a place where you can get on trains just normally and be okay. So I hope that helps a little bit. So, the emergent woman, you're so lovely. Thank you for asking people to do likes for me. That's really kind of you. The emergent woman is someone that I met on Instagram, and she's just like amazing, giving tips about dating, about relationships. So go and give her a follow, because she's a great lady, and she's just such a supportive, kind friend. So I've never met her in real life, Mia, but she's just always there, being such a kind presence on TikTok. So definitely worth going giving her a follow, and thank you for your support, Mia. So okay, so Sarah Taylor, really bad emetophobia affects so much in everyday life. I'm really sad and sorry to hear that you're suffering from that. For those of you who don't know, emetophobia is a fear of sickness, of being sick or other people being sick, and it's probably more common than people realise. It's something that is really difficult, and when we're anxious anyway, it can make us feel sick, and then we can have that fear of sick. Maybe we might have experienced someone, perhaps when we were a child, an episode of being sick ourselves, or witnessing someone being sick, and that can be a scary thing, and it can make you feel out of control. And a lot of the time with emetophobia, it can be about control, and the strange thing is that quite often people who have emetophobia have either never been sick in their lives or haven't been sick for a really long time, and they have this awful fear of what it's going to feel like it's going to be just this horrible thing, and it's going to be embarrassing, and so there's lots of different reasons behind emetophobia, and lots of different ways that people feel, and lots of different triggers. So again, I would say it can be really helpful to go and see a therapist, particularly, I'm a big fan of cognitive hypnotherapy because that's what I do. So I would say perhaps have a look at the therapist finder and maybe have a chat with someone. But look at some of the videos. I'm not sure if I think I've done an emetophobia video. Have a look. It's definitely on my list to do, so I can go into it in more detail. But it's not something you have to suffer with forever. My son had emetophobia and it was all to do with control, and he doesn't have that now. So yeah, please don't despair. You can definitely get the help. And I kind of go back to the same stuff of creating an environment of safety, understanding what's happening to you, not being afraid, being with the feeling and knowing that it's not going to kill you, it's not going to damage you, and having coping techniques to help you get past it. Because it's almost like you're going along a path and then you have an episode of being really anxious, really afraid. It's like a mountain, but that mountain doesn't keep going up and up and up. You reach a peak and it starts to come down again, and you get to the other side and you'll be okay. So please keep going, and I hope that you can find perhaps a therapist that can maybe help you with that. I hope that helps a little bit. Let's have a look. Just scrolling through. Thank you so much for following me. It's really, really lovely, and thank you. Just having a look. So Jessica again says, I can't stop vomiting from my anxiety. It's causing me to stop eating. So I would definitely go and see someone. If you're stopping eating, if that is, your digestive system is shutting down, our stomachs can get to the stage where, we don't know if we're hungry, we don't know if we're feeling sick, we don't know if we're full. And so it's about getting guidance to just get back on track and beginning to eat little and often, so our tummies get used to that feeling of, oh, okay, I can eat this, to have breakfast, lunch and dinner, maybe have a little snack in between, can be really helpful. It's like when you work with children who wet the bed, quite often they don't drink, and so they don't know, their bladder forgets what it feels like to have a full bladder. And so the answer is actually not to stop drinking, but to begin drinking, and to understand how does it feel to have a full bladder. And so I really feel for you if you're going through that cycle, and I would say reach out for help, perhaps with your GP first, perhaps with a therapist from the therapist finder or counsellor, and you really can be helped with this. So I hope that's okay. I feel for you. It's a horrible thing to be going through. Let's have a look. Joss P15 says, any tips how to stop a nervous tummy? Me and my daughter have anxiety and this is how it presents. Now, they say, don't they, that the tummy, your gut is like a second brain. And with what's called polyvagal theory, which is it's connected to anxiety, our nervous system protection. The vagus nerve goes down into our gut, and when we're anxious, it does manifest very often in stomach issues. As I was saying earlier, when we're in anxiety, it's a protective response, and so everything else shuts down. All of our blood is concentrated in our big muscles, so we can run away, we can fight our way out of danger, or in fact we can just collapse and freeze. And so stuff like our digestion, so we get dry mouth, we don't need saliva, do we, if we're not going to eat. We can feel sick, and that's to stop us eating because we don't want that working, we just want to survive. So again, creating this environment of safety that I know I'm bang on about can be really helpful. Taking yourself to a place where you understand what's going on, you can calm yourself with breath techniques, with other physical techniques. It's not about talking ourselves or thinking ourselves out of anxiety. That's not going to work, because the thinking is part of our cognitive brain. And so that comes later. That's us trying to make sense of the feelings we feel. So the feelings that you feel, the nausea, is a symptom of the release of adrenaline. So if we can create that environment of safety by physical messages to our nervous system, then we'll get rid of those symptoms of nausea. And I've worked with people who have IBS, and hypnotherapy generally is very good for IBS. It's very calming, and then everything begins to settle. So I hope that helps a little bit. So Lively Lou 14, I have a crippling fear of dying and getting old. It keeps me up all night. Oh gosh, I do feel for you. I'm sorry that you've got that fear. It's a very natural fear, isn't it? I think a lot of us will experience that at various times in our life, and it can be perhaps triggered by people around us that we love, either being ill or having died or dying, or fear of them dying, fear of ourselves dying. And we're spending a lot of our time in the past or in the future. And to be able to bring ourselves to now, this moment, and understand that, unfortunately it's a fact of life. That is the only sure thing, that we are all going to die one day. And although that's a scary thing, it can also be quite liberating to understand that, yes, that is going to happen, but that makes this moment now so important, that we are in this moment, and that we are with the time we spend is so important. The time we spend with our loved ones, the time we spend doing stuff, being kind to ourselves, doing stuff that we love. It's so important. Self-care is so important. Being kind to ourselves is so important, So we can't stop that inevitable thing happening. But what we can do is we can make the most of the time that we have. And perhaps, again, talking with someone that you trust or talking with a therapist can help you work your way through that, to have an understanding and to begin to feel safer. To begin to really make the most of every day that you have. I do feel for you, and I understand that it is difficult. And as I say, a therapist can help you go back to, maybe that's been triggered by something happening in your past that makes you feel a bit out of control and fearful. So I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, so I'm so aware that there's so many questions and so many so many comments. Blimey, it's really difficult to keep up. So I do apologise that if I'm not answering your particular comment or acknowledging you, it's not that I don't want to. It's just maybe I don't see you because they oh my goodness, they just come through so quickly. Carina Kitchen, I've just seen you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Let's have a look. Sarah, thank you. Thank you, Sarah Liffen. I appreciate your kind comments. That's really lovely. So the Misfit Rebel, can anxiety get better with specific coping mechanisms personalised to ourselves? Absolutely. All of our anxiety, every time we're anxious, and we all get anxious, no one is calm all the time. They're understanding what's going on, understanding that it's anxiety and that you're not going to die, is really important. Understanding that once the situation is over, it will feel better. Understanding that maybe we've been triggered, something in the past, can help. And creating, using techniques. There's lots of techniques on my page, and I'm constantly adding to them, building a sort of library of techniques to help, and working sorry, I've seen a message from someone which I imagine Mia. I've seen your messages coming through, and I can't read them at the moment, but I will see your feedback in a moment. I'll go and have a look. So thank you for giving me feedback. As you've given me good suggestions about all the questions coming through. So I think that there's general advice on my page, but you can go through and pick stuff you think, oh yeah, this is good for me, and this helps, because there are loads of techniques and not all of them are going to be helpful to everyone. I know with my clients, I talk with them, and sometimes a technique, they'll go, oh, I love this really helps me, I do this all the time, and another one just won't be their cup of tea, and that's fine. So you can tailor it to you, definitely. Oh, I just seen this redacted freak. I came to TikTok to calm down from an anxiety attack. The algorithm is blessing me. Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh gosh, if I've touched something, I've not meant to do that. I think I might have muted you or something. I didn't mean to do that. God, I hate this thing sometimes. But thank you for that comment. Message me if I've done something weird. Then I didn't mean to. Okay. Violetta Swaney, thank you so much for your help. Anxiety isn't talked about enough. You're absolutely right. It's not talked about enough, and I totally. I'm so, I hate it when people say they're passionate about stuff, but I am, because people are alone, and like in England, like in the UK, the NHS is just totally overwhelmed, and people can't get appointments with their GPs, people can't get appointments with therapists. I've got a waiting list, and it's, it's really difficult. But what I want people to know is that it's completely natural. It's not a death sentence. If you're diagnosed with anxiety or if you're diagnosed with depression, it's not the end of the world for you. There's lots of things you can do, and actually you can come through this and come out the other side and live a completely normal life. I think there's a lot of stigma around anxiety and depression, and there doesn't need to be, because it's a normal part of life, and you can absolutely understand it, deal with it, come through it, cope with it, and live your life, be you again. So, please speak kindly to yourself, don't despair. So Rudy Girl says, I'm suffering now hugely. I've been put on citalopram and side effects are horrid. And then your comment flew away. So, but to answer your question, if you've been put on any sort of medication by your GP and the side effects are horrible, go back to your GP, because there are lots of medications. Medications can be massively helpful. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to talk in specifics about that. But if you're having issues with your medications, go and see your GP again, and they will be able to help you. They should be able to help you. If they don't help you, see another GP, because absolutely you don't need to be suffering with this. I saw a comment earlier, and it flew by, about CBT for OCD. CBT is very good for OCD, definitely, because it's about understanding that a lot of OCD, anxiety, all of these things which are protective behaviours in the main, they are behaviours. They are not you, and it's really important to know that you're not defined by a behaviour that you are going through at the moment. You are still a good, kind person, and that's really important to remember, that at the moment you're carrying this burden, and so we work on the behaviour, that we work on the protective behaviour as therapists, and we recognise that you are still a wonderful person, and so don't be swallowed by the behaviour, if that makes sense. Still recognise and be kind to yourself that your identity remains wonderful, that you're a good person. I'm sure you know that, but if you don't know that, I'm telling you that now. Just me, Sarah. I'm desperate to be hypnotised to control my anxiety, but you had a bad experience last time. I'm really sorry to hear you had a bad experience. As the same as I was saying earlier, there are some people out there who are, in any therapy, there's some people out there who perhaps are not as well trained as we would hope they would be. And for whatever reason you had the bad experience, please don't give up, because it can be massively helpful. I mean, I love the cognitive hypnotherapy that I practice. I absolutely love. I live by its. I live by the way, its tenets. I use the stuff, the techniques myself. I think it's a fantastic therapy. So perhaps have a look in my therapist finder for lots of really good cognitive hypnotherapists who might be able to help you, and I hope you have a better experience. Okay, top three tips for anxiety. So 8 Chic 90. That was a good question. And also someone said, would you recommend Fern Cotton's books? I've not read them, I have to admit. I read her vegan cookery book, but I've not read her books on anxiety, so I don't know. So top 3 tips for anxiety. I would say, don't suffer alone. Reach out for help. Know that it's normal and it's natural and you're not alone. The whole world suffers from anxiety, and it doesn't mean that you're mentally ill. It means that you are going through a blip, and that your nervous system is reaching out, trying to help you in the best way it knows how. I would say have a look at understanding what anxiety is, because there's a lot of misinformation about there. Anxiety is fight or flight response. It's our nervous system trying to help us. And understand that we can't talk our way out or think our way out of anxiety. It's about sending physical cues to our nervous system through breath, through our vision, through our muscle tone. Lots of physical cues are the way that we help anxiety. And is that 3? It's probably more than 3. Have a look at my page. That's my tip. Have a look at some of the videos and you will be helped. I honestly. So user 471-712-1974. What do I need to study to become a therapist? That's a really good question. So if you wanted to do what I'm doing, we're just about to start a new course. I'm the training manager at the Quest Institute. There's a link to that in my bio. We take on all sorts of people. You don't have to have any particular background. It's more about being the right person. We interview everyone that we take on. To be a counsellor, that sort of therapy, then that takes much longer. For my therapy, it took me a year, and then I did a further nearly a year to be a master practitioner. So I did 2 years, and I'm constantly training. But there's no actual specific qualification. You don't have to have a degree or anything like that to become what I do, although I do have a degree. To be a counsellor, it's longer training. It can take 5-10 years to become a counsellor. To be a psychologist, you need to have a psychology degree. If you wanted to be someone like a psychiatrist, you need to train to be a doctor, and then be a specialist, become a consultant psychiatrist. So there's lots of different ones. Have a look, if you're interested in what I do, look at the Quest Institute, and I train there. I train other therapists, and I think it's an amazing place, but I'm biased, so go and have a look at that maybe. I hope that helps a little bit. It's a fantastic job to do. It helps so many people, and it can be so rewarding. So I hope that helps a little bit. Lucy Rose P1412. I can't go anywhere now because of my anxiety. I hate the person I've become. Lucy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Don't hate yourself. Don't hate yourself. Be kind to yourself, because this is not you. This is a protective behaviour that's taken over your life, and it's there at the moment, wrapping you in a cloak, or, keeping you in a bubble away from the world. But if we can help you to burst that bubble, to be free of that cloak of anxiety, then you can absolutely live your life again. You are still that person that you've always been, a good, kind person. I can totally understand that it's the behaviour that you hate. So be kind to yourself. Ask for help. If you've not found the right help yet, then the right help will be out there for you. So please don't be alone in this. Have a look at my page. If you want to get in contact and ask me a question, then please do. But hopefully this is a temporary thing that you're going through. And you're absolutely right that anxiety can make our life just feel smaller and smaller and smaller, because our nervous system wants to keep us safe, and it makes our world smaller and smaller. And actually the answer is to begin to connect with the world, to give ourselves self-care, to be kind to ourselves, to speak kindly to ourselves. So I know it's difficult to do that by yourself. So that's why it's important perhaps to work with someone who can help you. So I've got 5 minutes of this live left. I really appreciate everyone that's been here. Thank you so much for all of your comments, for all of your questions. If there's been any unkind comments, I'm sorry about that. I've not seen too many. Usually I have a team of moderators. I've not seen any of you today. I don't know if you're here. If you are here, thank you so much. I usually have Zanshin and Lynn, and I know Lynn couldn't be here today, Vicky and Jasmine. So if you're here, thank you. If you've not been here, then my apologies if there's been any unkindness in this live. This live will be put on my YouTube page, which you can access and subscribe through my profile, through my bio. There's lots of free resources on my bio that you can go and have a little browse around if you're interested. If you're not interested, then that's fine. Thank you so much if you've commented and if you've followed. If you want to ask me any questions, then you absolutely can email me. I do my best to reply to all the comments that I get on any of the posts that I make. Obviously, when this live is gone, it's gone. But if you make a comment, I will see it and I will do my best to answer anything that you have to say. I will get this up on my YouTube page at some point today. So let me have a look and just see. Julesy, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Julesy, because it might be Gulazy, I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's Julesy from Kyrenia Kitchen. Thank you so much for being here. It's lovely to see you. Maya, thank you for saying that my voice is soothing. Oh, Bev, good morning. Bev C 1965, it's lovely to see you here. Thank you for being here. Glenn Sloth, before you leave, what is your number one tip for life? Wow, that's a big question, isn't it? If I had the answer to that, I'd be doing well. I think just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, be kind to the people around you. We're all on our own journey. That would be my number one tip for life, I think. So I hope that's helpful. I'm just having a little look through. Amirak, thank you so much, lovely person. Well, thank you for your kind comment, and I love your username. That's so cool. Thank you all. Thank you for following me. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for just being here, really. The homely palace mums, hello, thank you for being here. I love seeing you. I love your username, and I really appreciate you being on my page. I see you commenting. You say, who could be unkind to you? Well, you never know, do you? Everyone can be. Sometimes people are a bit silly. So, and I have to say, if people are unkind, it kind of gets to me. I question myself. I'm always amazed that I'm in this position with all these followers and people here, but I'm so grateful. I just love it. I love that we have this community, and I hope over time this community can build and we can support one another. So thank you for being here. Let's have a look. Palm, I think this will be my last one that I answer. and then I'm going to have a little stay around just to have a little look, because I'm nosy at looking at some of the nice comments that you give me, and I want to thank you at the end. So Palms Coconut says, how to be courageous during survival mode. Do you know, that's such a good question, isn't it? Because, you know, all of you who are here, I would imagine the vast majority of you have got struggles at the moment, that maybe you're scrolling through TikTok, as someone said a little bit earlier, you know, going through really difficult times. And it's so hard to be courageous. It's so hard to keep going and to believe that you will get through this, you know, because sometimes life really does give you difficult times to get through, and they can come from nowhere. So how do you stay courageous? I think it's just, again, be kind to yourself. Don't suffer alone. If there are people in your life that you can reach out to and share how you're feeling, share. And if people reach out to you, if you see other people who are obviously struggling, reach out to the people around you and smile, you know, say, you okay today? You really okay? Because so many of us suffer in silence. And I think that there's so much sort of, everything is polarized at the moment, isn't it? It's like, I believe this and you're wrong, and I believe this and you're wrong, and there's so much of this sort of hatred. And if we can just be kind to one another and kind to ourselves, it would make such a massive difference in the world. And understanding that you are being courageous just by keeping going, getting up each morning, getting out of bed, putting one foot in front of the other. You're coming on TikTok and finding videos about anxiety, how to help yourself. That is courage. Keeping going, keeping breathing is courage. And so, well done, you know, all of you. I don't mean to be patronising here. I genuinely, you know, well done for just keeping going and doing your best. Because you will come through the other side if you keep taking those steps day by day. You will. I've been in places where I've really thought there was no hope, and I can remember thinking, what is the point? I cannot imagine the future being of any worth. And I'm so glad that I reached out for help, and I'm in the place that I'm in now, because it is totally worth keeping going. And you look at sometimes I can look back and think now I perhaps have more empathy because I've been through the difficult times. And I'm not saying I had like massively difficult times compared to some people, I know that, but yeah, so all of you have courage. So yeah, now I'm going to do another. I'm not going to do lives on the weekends anymore. I used to do them on a Sunday, and I've kind of stepped back. I want to have time over the weekends with my family and just take time. I think it's important to take a break from social media. So my next one will be on Monday coming at 5 o'clock UK time. So in the States, that's kind of lunchtime. In Australia, that's really late at night. But you're really welcome to sign up for that, register, or set a reminder for it. I'll post it when I've done this live. If you've asked for a download, I've seen a few people requesting for downloads. I'll get onto that now as quickly as I can. I'll do that today for you and answer any questions that I've got. But thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. I'm just going to scroll through. 5 p.m. UK time on Monday coming, Bridget. You'd be really welcome to come and join me again. And if you have any questions, if you want me to talk about anything in particular, then you can always send me questions. I've always said this to people: if you want me to talk about something in particular, let me know, and I can do that so that you know that you're covered in advance. I'll do my best for you, you know, and then I can sort of prioritise those topics for people. Oh no, Bridget, that's 4 a.m. your time. Oh no, I'm sorry, but that's why I kind of do this. I do the 10 a.m. on a Friday morning UK time and a 5 p.m. So I'm hoping to kind of cater for as many people as possible. So I'm hoping, what am I going to do next Friday? So Oh, next Friday I can't do one early in the morning. Maybe I'll do one earlier. Maybe I'll do like a 9 a.m. I will do one next Friday, so maybe you can be here. Oh, thank you for your kind comments. I really, I kind of don't do this for the kind comments to me, but it is really nice to read them. So thank you so much. Thank you. I can see like little Arain, really, you're really kind. Thank you so much for your loveliness. Never Forever O2, that was helpful. I'm so glad it's helpful. I really appreciate Juanita Mayer. I hope your family will be okay. Don't worry, you'll be all right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to say goodbye. But I really appreciate you being here. Do come again. You're always welcome. Do, if you fancy coming on my page and seeing any of my videos, if you want me to post about anything in particular, just let me know and I'll do my best for you. Okay, but thank you for being here today. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been lovely having you here. So take care, have a lovely weekend, and maybe I'll see you on Monday.